The protagonist is walking home late at night. He lives in the studio district, which is loud and filthy day in and day out. He arrives home and looks at his food for the night, ramen for dinner again, just like every other night. Bong Joon-hyuk is 25 years old. He is unemployed and juggling 3 part-time jobs: a convenience store, a barbecue joint, and day labor. Even though he works like a dog, he can never save enough money because of his debt. He has no special skills, just a working body, so there's no bright future waiting for him. Suddenly, a system window pops up and announces that Bong has awakened. He freezes in shock at what he's seeing and spits out his food in fear. The protagonist can't believe it, he's awakened. Some people call this a blessing, a chance to hit the jackpot and completely turn their lives around. Maybe even better luck than winning the lottery. But there's only one problem. You can only enjoy those benefits if you're actually alive. Entering the tower is insanely dangerous. You could be torn apart by monsters, freeze or burn to death in extreme climates, die from poison, fall into traps, or be crushed to death. Because of this, the protagonist has always turned a blind eye to injustice and avoided danger whenever possible. He's a bottom feeder, a nobody. That's how he's lived for the past 25 years. The protagonist sets his chopsticks down and wonders what awakening truly means. He reaches out and says, "Status window." The system pops up. Affiliation, Black Tower. Nationality, Korea. Level 1. Trait, summoning. The protagonist can enter the tower once per day. He stares at the screen in shock. His trait is summoning. But what kind of summoner is he? Awakened are granted an ability known as a trait. Traits range from swordsmanship, spearmanship, shield arts, archery, martial arts, and heavy weapon mastery to healing, summoning, and countless others. Among them, summoning involves spirits, phantoms, beasts, golems, demonic entities, and more. It's generally known as the ability to command specific types of creatures. The protagonist wonders what kind of summoner he will be. He tries activating his skill and calls out, "Summon." Nothing happens. He tries again. Random summon. Still nothing. Then he remembers, skills don't work outside the tower. Player abilities, including skills, can only be used inside the tower and cannot be manifested in the outside world, aside from viewing the system window. Outside the tower, an awakened is no different from an ordinary civilian. Anyone with an internet connection knows that. Yet he still feels like an idiot. "There's no way this would actually activate outside the tower," he mutters. Suddenly, the system window flashes, initiating random summon. "What?" the protagonist blurts out. A purple light erupts in his room, and a man is suddenly summoned. The protagonist stares in disbelief. Why is this working? Why is a human standing there? The summoned man greets him with a bright smile. "Hello." The protagonist has successfully summoned, despite not being inside the tower. The summoned human suddenly sniffs the air. He takes a deeper breath, his eyes lighting up. It smells amazing. He spots the ramen and immediately digs in, eating enthusiastically. A moment later, his expression twists. "Too spicy." The protagonist watches in silence, still unable to comprehend how his skill activated outside the tower. The system window updates. Summon type, humans and demi-humans. Grades are rare. SR, super rare. SSR, special super rare. LSSR, legendary special super rare. Seamless communication is possible between summoner and summon in all situations. It feels like pulling a character from a game. The summoned is bound by 3 mandates. 1. The summon shall protect the summoner's life above all else. 2. The summon shall obey the summoner's commands absolutely. 3. In the event of conflict between Mandate 1 and Mandate 2, Mandate 1 takes precedence. Suddenly, new information floods the protagonist's mind. The Cruel Guild's insane assassin. Name John Cossack. Grade, super rare. Type, human assassin. Manifestation limit, 6 hours. Cooldown, 3 hours after dismissal. John Cossack was the Cruel Guild's greatest headache. a complete lunatic. Despite that, his mission success rate was 99%. He even succeeded in assassinating a fifth circle dark mage. The protagonist suddenly experiences an out-of-body sensation. He watches John sprint forward, leaping toward enemies, slaughtering them one by one. He realizes he's witnessing John's past. The protagonist doesn't understand him. Something is clearly wrong. John is gift-wrapping severed heads as if offering them as presents. John's end came from a single failure. His assassination target was the Empire's strongest sword master. That was John's final memory. Hey! John suddenly appears behind him. What are you thinking about? The protagonist collapses to the floor, nearly scared to death. John apologizes and asks if there are any orders. The protagonist reminds himself not to panic. Summons must obey absolutely. Taking a deep breath, he orders John to clean the apartment. John moves instantly, working at terrifying speed without a single complaint. Curious, the protagonist tests him. Bark, he says. John pauses. The protagonist panics, thinking he went too far. Then John drops to all fours and starts barking. The protagonist stares in disbelief. Absolute obedience. Suddenly, there's a knock at the door. The protagonist's heart sinks. He forgot the interest payment is due. He had borrowed 10 million won from a loan shark because no bank would lend to him. His father had slipped on ice and fractured his hip, and the surgery was expensive. On top of that, he was paying his younger brother's college tuition. He thought he could repay the loan quickly, but the principal hadn't budged. He had already paid nearly 5 million won in interest alone. The knocking grows louder. John smiles, his expression filled with murderous intent. That's not what I want, the protagonist whispers. He pushes John toward the bathroom. Hide. Don't move. Don't make a sound. He opens the door. A loan shark grabs him by the collar and smiles. When the interest didn't come through, I was worried you were sick. The protagonist apologizes and says he already sent the transfer. The loan shark laughs. If it gets too hard, you can always carve out an organ and sell it. Another man chimes in, mentioning his younger brother. The younger, the better the price. The protagonist gives them a cold stare. The loan shark frowns. What's with that look? Thinking of fighting? The protagonist forces his expression back to normal. I'd never cause trouble. They warn him to behave and leave. John emerges from the bathroom. The protagonist thanks him for staying perfectly hidden. He's exhausted. Double shifts. Awakening. A human summon. Loan sharks. The debt feels crushing. He wonders if he should climb the tower. The rewards would be immense, but there's no way a coward like him could survive. John asks what to do next. The protagonist offers to dismiss him. John smiles. I'd like to watch TV. The protagonist doesn't question how John knows about television or ramen and lets him watch a drama. Time passes. Even though John is a summon, having someone nearby doesn't feel bad. It's comforting. For the first time in his life, he isn't alone. The next morning, his alarm goes off. John is gone. The system window confirms the summon has ended. The protagonist gets ready for work. Until breaking news plays on the TV. Early this morning in Seoul, at the offices of the illegal loan firm Smile Cash, a gruesome murder occurred. The protagonist freezes. That's the company he owes money to. 3 victims were found beheaded. What's truly shocking is that the severed heads were wrapped in red ribbons. The protagonist's mind flashes back to John's memories. His blood runs cold. He just summoned a complete psychopath. Thanks for watching the Manhwa recap. If you enjoyed it, like the video and subscribe for more insane awakenings, overpowered MCs, and dark fantasy stories. See you in the next recap.